Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back. So, World of Warships has done a response and update to the WaterLine video. So, today we're going to be going over the classified documents that everyone was really upset about and angry about, as well as going over the experimental ships. So, currently I am on the PTS. As you can see, the Oregon, Vyazma, and Met. You guys are also able to play these ships yourself on the test server right now, the public test server, until February 17th. How you do it, I'm going to show you real quick. All you have to do is click on tech tree. You click on the bottom left right here to experimental ships. Once you're here, you're going to start off with the Mets. You are going to see a spend 100,000 free XP to get. And then once you do that, you're going to have to spend doubloons, which you already come with the doubloons on the server. In this public test server, whatever you spend here does not relate to your main account. So once you buy this, it's going to move on to the Vyazma. After the Vyazma, it's going to go to the Oregon, and then you're able to play the Oregon. So I already have videos on all of these ships, so I'm not going to really go over them here. I'm just going to be playing them while we talk about the classified documents and the experimental ships, how it's going to be done. And I'm going to explain what's going on. So Wargaming has heard our concerns and our backlash and our feedback, and they have changed the classified documents. So for randoms, they have made it where there is no longer a attack or offensive feature of the documents. There is only a defensive, and I'm going to show it once I get into a match. For the experimental ships, they have gone very much in high detail on how they're going to be put into the game for the short duration they are, what rewards you're able to get by playing them, and I'm going to be putting the link for that work in progress into the description of the video, so you guys can go and read it for yourself if you want all the information. But in short, they're making it where these ships aren't going to be just like, oh, well, you can just get this right away as a new player. No, you have to have some criteria. Like, I think it's like you have to play like a tier 9 or a 10 at that point, or like there's a certain criteria of some experience to be able to get into these ships before you can just jump into it. So I do like that for the experimental ships. Now, a lot of people, again, don't like the fact that randoms is being used as a test bed for this stuff, but they are doing a step forward and helping with our concerns on that, and I'm going to explain more in today's video. So, okay, as you can see here, with the documents, you guys will take a look here. As you can see, I click on Oregon, right? It gives me an attack of extra continuous anti-air damage and shell damage. This is just in general, because they did this really quick. And if you look at the bottom, defense, you have a 5% armament defense from all armaments from them, and then 5% from AP. Now, for FDG, it's 5% for all armaments and 10% for secondaries, and it's different for every ship based off of like what their strengths are. Like Takashi's torps, so you can see it's torps. Humphreys is also armaments. So, and also when you select one ship, it does all the ships that are in that category. So I'm going to be focusing the Edgar, Oregon, and Utrecht in the match. Now that means that I will be taking less damage from these ships with those percentages. And before anybody asks, these percentages are multiplicative. So pretty much the 5% is taken off the whole number. And then after that number, the 5% is taken off of that one. And that's how they calculate it for the percentages before you guys like are trying to add it as additive or multiplicative. It's multiplicative. So you guys are aware. So as you can see right now, I'm playing the Oregon. It starts off at, and again, all the stats that I'm showing are subject to change. That's why you see a work in progress at the top left of the screen. We are on the public test server, so you guys are just aware of that. So right now at 31,000 health, which is what you start at, you have a 12% reload buff and a 19.4% dispersion buff. And if I heal, I'll just show you guys real quick. When you heal, it makes it where it goes down. That bonus goes down. So when you're playing these ships, you're trying to balance how much health you have and your bonus has. So you're trying to balance that little middle area with them to be able to get the most out of your feature, out of the fight or flight feature. That's what you're kind of be doing during this. So as you can tell as well, when you click F, it shows you how many of the special ammo you have. It, as you can see, it has special characteristics. It's 100 meters per second quicker than the regular AP, so it is quicker, which means it's going to have more pin. Now, before you ask, as you can see, the dispersion is smaller. That is not special to the shell. That is special to the burst fire, so it is smaller in the burst fire, just so you guys are aware. So I'm gonna try to take a shot at this Edgar. We'll see how that goes. It is pretty late for me, so if I aim pretty bad, that is my fault. All right, so I aimed a little bit too high, and I also probably shouldn't have used that special AP just because of the fact that it's going to probably overpen them, just because the shells are faster. So I'm gonna try this again without using the F key this time. And when you do use the F key, you do have a longer reload. So you're trying not to use it too much unless you're gonna shoot a broadside target. But yeah, see, there you go, much better. I still aimed just slightly a little higher, but that's just a skill issue on my part. It is extremely late for me, so I pretty much stopped stream and went right into recording right after stream because I wanted to make sure you guys had an update video on the WaterLine, because a lot of people have been extremely upset and concerned with that WaterLine video. So I wanted to do the best I can to update you guys with as much accurate information as possible. All right, so as you can see right now, at 51,000 health, these heals are also massive. They do a massive amount of heals. I believe this is like 20-something thousand heal for the Oregon. It's really, really strong. And you do get 6 heals, by the way. You get a lot of heals. I also have the improved heal skill as well, so it gives me an extra heal. Now, I'm going to try to use the little funny button here on this John DeWitt. I think I have enough pin just to Citadel it. All right, I do. All right, cool. Killed him. Cool. So he's dead. Very nice. It is a bot, though. It is the PTS. So there are going to be bots on the server before you guys ask. But yeah, right now, I could heal, but I want to keep my health lower to be able to get the extra bonuses from the feature, from the fight or flight feature right now. So I'm not going to use my F key. I'm going to save my special ammo. I do have 48 shells left, so I'm going to just save that. So right now I'm going to bully the Oregon with the Novo, so we're going to have fun with that. Now, once I get around this corner, I'm probably going to use the F key on him because I can just pin. He's pinned right there. And he's dead. All right. So, if you guys are wondering what the Oregon is, I will just say it is a tier 10 Georgia. It has pretty much almost all of the exact same stats. One of the main things that's different, though, it does not have the secondary accuracy of the Georgia. So before you're like, oh yeah, I can build secondaries. No, I'm sorry. That is one of the downsides of the ship. It does not have the accurate secondaries of the Georgia, kind of like, you know, how the Massachusetts does and the Ohio. This doesn't. So unfortunately, they don't have that yet, but it could change. It could. We don't know, though, but because the stats are subject to change, so they could add that in, but we never know. But so I just wanted to showcase to you guys the Oregon, because you guys have been asking about the Oregon and about the experimental ships that are being added. The classified documents, they have listened to our concerns and they have removed the attack feature from the classifieds. Now, I know it says here it says continuous anti-air and then AA explosion. I don't know if that's going to be staying or not. And for you guys, I know you guys are probably curious. Yes, this does also affect subs and CVs. So for defense, for submarines, it is like all armaments and then torpedoes. For CVs, it really depends. For like the Audacious, like an example, it'll say 5% off of damage from CVs, but 10% for bombers for the Audacious. And every CV has different parameters based off of what is really strong with that CV in particular, and same is going to be going with every ship. That's why, like, if you look at the Utrecht, it says 3.3% for armaments, and then 6.7 for the aircraft bombers, and then for the Edgar, it's 5% all, and then 5% AP ammunition. So these classified documents are supposedly going in 14.2, and that's going to be in March. And when that's going to be going in, it's going to be going through tier 8 through 10. Wait, is it? No, tier 8 through supers. Sorry, tier 8 through supers. So these documents are going to be in tier 8 through supers. Tier 7s cannot be affected by the documents at all. So even if a tier 8 does get into a match with tier 7s, it will not be affected. So do not worry about that. Going off of that, going into the experimental ships. I know a lot of people have been concerned about the experimental ships. So they are making it harder to be able to tame them in just the base game. And they will be going away in patch 14.7. I don't remember the exact patch that they're adding the 3 particular experimental ships in. I don't remember the exact ones that they are. So somebody in the comments can let me know exactly which one it is, or SAT, you could just tell me. Do you know when these ships are supposed to be going into the game, in their experimental ships?
I only remembered that it's going to be removed in 14.7. I
Okay.
assume they're being tested right now since we've seen them before.
Yes.
In randoms.
Okay. So right now they're being tested on the public test, so they should be being added in 14.2 then, I guess. We can just assume they'll be added then. Okay. But yes, so they are making it difficult to get these ships. It's going to require you to have some experience in the game. You have to use free XP to be able to get access to it, and then you work your way through missions. And the missions are how you get rewards. So in the document that I posted in my descriptions, you're going to be able to see like these missions. And these missions, you're going to be able to use that to complete the ship to be able to get it. And then once you get that, you can then work on the next one and the next one and so forth. They also made it where when you're playing these ships, for each patch that you have them, you're able to earn rewards like in-game goodies or coal. Supposedly, for what they were saying, if you do all the missions or you complete all the things for the rewards, you can get up to 150,000 coal. And that is what they said in the 14.2 document that's in my description, so you guys can take a look at that for yourselves and get a good read. But yeah, you can get a lot of goodies by having these ships and playing them. So they're definitely pushing people to try these ships. They really are. They want people to play them. They want people to try them. They want people to enjoy them. So they said that these ships are more for the active player base or people that are more for the interesting play style. Overall, I'd say that my favorite one so far is the Oregon. The Viasma is legit a Borodino. I've had some trolley dispersion with it, and the Mets is legit the Tolon, and yeah, I don't enjoy this one that much. The most fun is the Oregon, then the Viasma, then the Mets. So far. Also, I did also test these documents in the operations with flagships. I will say that the Operation Flagships is absolutely amazing. I will go and do a match and I'll kind of explain to you guys. Maybe I'll get a match. If not, then I won't. We'll see. If we can get a match within like 2 minutes, then sure. But they've done some major upgrades to the flagship operations, which if you are a PvE player, it's going to be a real treat for you. What they did is that whenever you're in the mode, of course, and whenever you're going in and playing, at the start, it's going to tell you what flagships are going to be in the match. It's going to be like an AP weakness battleship or a HE weakness destroyer. It's going to tell you specifically what is the weaknesses of the ship, of like the flagships, and what flagships you're facing. And when you see that, you're then able to pick one document, and that one document lets you select from battleships, cruisers, and destroyers. And of course, there are no flagships that are aircraft carriers and none that are destroyers. Sorry, none that are submarines. Sorry. The only flagships are battleships, cruisers, and DDs. But I've only seen them as DDs and battleships, so I don't know how common it is for cruiser. So pretty much you're able to see what flagships you're going to be fighting in the match, and then you're going to be able to pick what classified document you want. So say that you're playing a torpedo destroyer, right? And you see a torpedo ship or a torpedo flagship on the enemy team, and its weakness is torpedoes. You can use a classified document to be able to pick like extra damage with torpedoes onto that particular ship type. You can only pick one, and you can only pick it for one ship type. So you can only pick one for one ship and one for one ship type. Unfortunately, like, it would be nice if it could go across some more, you could pick more, but they give a pretty large bonus. It's about a 10% bonus overall for the damage, like extra damage that you do. So it is a really nice bonus for, and that includes like fire damage, flood damage. It's just really nice overall. Okay, so we're gonna go to a match so I can showcase this to you guys so you guys can get a better look at this. All right, so we're on Ultimate Frontier. We're on Ultimate Frontier. So start battle. We go in. You can see right now you can pick it here, or you can click save. You can back out. And where is it? Where is the flagships at? Oh, weird. So I still have 43 seconds left. I'm guessing I kind of forgot. It's going to take a little bit for it to show up, like, once the match starts. But I know for sure it's supposed to tell you what flagships are in the match. So you have about 30 seconds to pick. Let's see, where is it? All right. So you hold tab right here. Incendiary cruiser and torpedo battleship. So this ship's weakness is torpedoes. This is fires. Well, I don't have torpedoes, so guess what I'm going to pick? I'm going to go right to cruisers, and I'm going to be doing fire damage. So I'm going to pick that and click save. And that's all you have to do. So it gives you the information right away for the torpedoes. Sorry, it gives you information right away on what flagships you're fighting, and you can pick what bonus you're going to take. And that's a very useful tool for PvE, and I feel that is right at home for operations. I feel like the classified documents are absolutely perfect for PvE. It adds a level of depth, a little level of depth without going too overboard. So it's something that I really enjoy, and that I'm happy that they added it for PvE. Now, going back to it being in randoms, a lot of people still do not like the fact that it's in randoms. And I agree. I don't like the fact that it's in randoms. I don't like the classified documents being in randoms. Now, I understand where Wargaming is coming from, and I'm glad that they're listening to concerns and changing, and they are still adapting and changing things based off the community feedback. So they may just completely remove the classified documents from randoms off of the community feedback, because as of right now, even with the higher, like, higher skill levels, the lower or middle skill level players, they're all saying the same thing. The classified documents are something that should not be in randoms. It should be in a PvE mode like this, and it's perfectly valid. I couldn't agree more with them. Having that kind of mechanic, even a defensive one, can really throw, like, it adds, like, such a weird, like, how does it explain it, SAT? It's such, like, a weird, like, unnecessary thing for randoms. And I know they're adding it to clan battles. Like, I'm trying to figure out how to explain it. Like, how would you explain SAT for the, like, for PvP? Like, I don't think that kind of thing belongs in a PvP environment, but for
It's
PvE.
basically leads to a lot of focusing. Because, for example, let's say you're facing you have a matchmaking monitor. You see a few people that are purple on the enemy team. So you're like, huh, I have these combat instructions. Let's go use it against them. So you're specifically targeting out people that are a huge threat to you. Like, as a skilled player myself, I feel like I'm unfairly targeted.
Yes.
And also, it's not necessarily just skilled players too. You could also be a streamer, and then you just get unfairly targeted because, hey, I'm well known. People know who I am, and they're just gonna target me because screw you.
Yes. Now, I have another way to look at the combat instructions, is that it could be a good way for wargaming to see what the community thinks, what ships are strong and need a nerf. That could also be another thing where if they could use the information from, hey, these players are really picking a lot of, say, Libertas. Or, hey, they're picking a lot of Columbos where they do less damage. They want less damage from these ships. Maybe we should go in and balance those ships, right? I think that could be a really useful tool for wargaming instead of having it like on the forums or them hearing people yelling or screaming all the time. They could have like actual in-game data being like, hey, this is the ship that people are wanting, like, taking less damage from, right? So, like, for instance, we all know that if these come into randoms, every single time there's a CV, everyone's gonna pick a CV at least, right? Unless you're an anti-air ship, you're gonna be taking that damage reduction from CV damage, right? We're all going to. If there's a submarine in the match, we're all gonna be picking a submarine, right? So two of our choices is already gonna be the aircraft carrier or the sub. And wargaming is, they're gonna know that pretty quick. So they're gonna be like, okay, well, I wonder what they're gonna do or what they can do to nerf these particular things, but I don't know. We would have to see in that regard. So you could also use it for ships that are hard counters to you. So for instance, say that you're in a Yamato, right? And you're in a match up against a aircraft carrier, which is a hard counter to a Yamato because a Yamato has no anti-air, and also like a Conqueror. Conqueror can also hard counter Yamato, and Yamato can also hard counter Conqueror depending upon how good they are. So you'd be like, oh, hey, I want to take less damage from the Conqueror. So you put a classified document on that, so you take like 10% less damage from the Conqueror. It's like, hey, I don't want to take as much damage from that CV. So you put that document on that. And like, I don't know, you see like a Nevesky as well. You see a Nevesky in there. It's like, oh, I might as well put that on the Nevesky since that's also a farming ship that can farm really far away, really hard to hit, right? So you also pick Nevesky too. So
you basically put it on the biggest threats to you.
Yeah, the biggest
whether that
threats.
be player or ships.
Yeah, exactly. So what wargaming is intending with the defensive is that, hey, you can use this as a tool to just like take less damage from your hard counter ships is what I think what wargaming is intending. And how it turned out is like, hey, people are going to use this to grief. And that's the difference, right? We were doing a joke about this on stream, right? About a Colbert. If anyone sees John on the enemy team at a Colbert, everyone is going to be picking John to take less damage from, right? Like, that's the thing. Everyone's going to take the thing to take less damage. And then that's also going to affect the mastery tool. Or sorry, the, what's it called? Reward, like master, what's it called? The leaderboard mastery thing. That's also like going to affect that.
Marks of excellence.
Yeah, the marks of excellence. Because like he's doing less damage, which means it's going to be harder for him to individually get the marks of excellence because everyone's going to be picking him. So
Not
that's
that John would struggle.
oh no,
but
he
you
wouldn't
get the
struggle,
point.
but you guys get the point, right? People are going to focus people that are big threats, or they're going to focus ships that are big threats. Now, if it was just a regular Colbert, they may not do that. But since it's John, and everyone knows John, they're going
He's
to
just gonna get singled out.
yeah, exactly. And that's why the argument about it shouldn't be in PvP is because of that. Because people can use a tool that's meant for good and use it to grief. So that's why wargaming has taken out the offensive side of the combat instruction, has kept the defensive, and they're still tweaking it, working on it. Now, I think if they kept it in PvP, they need to just reduce it to below 10%. It should not. Oh, somebody was messaging in game asking about it.
Yeah, the way it is right now, it's better. But if they're going to keep it in, I'd rather have it have as low as effect as possible. My personal opinion is I'd rather not have that entirely. At least not as far as gameplay is concerned.
Yes.
Like, if they want to put in PvP, they can make it so you get some sort of like economic reward. Like, oh, you get like a bounty for kill, and you get like plus 20,000 or something. Or you get a cool camo, like kind of like in Call of Duty, where you could collect people's dog tags if you stab them in the back, if assassinate them in the back.
Yeah.
It could be like that in World of Warships, but I don't like the fact that it gives you a gameplay advantage for just selecting them.
Exactly. And that's the biggest concern, right? And the thing is, this is also going to be going into clan battles, and we have no idea what that's going to be. The only information we have is that clans can pick 2 documents, and that's before they go into battle, where it's even before they click the battle start. They pick pick 2 classified documents. We have no idea if they're offensive, defensive. We have no idea yet. There's been no public knowledge on that end yet. And I say yet because they will probably say something sooner or later. They're just, testing out the random one right now. They may even possibly remove it. Isn't that season where it's supposed to be going in not even going on for a while? That clan battle season? Somebody's saying we still have season 29 clan battle season. That's supposed to be going in clan battle season 30. So it's not even going to be going in right away.
We don't even know what the rule set is for the next season, so it's not really any point to think about it.
Yeah, it's not.
We
it's
just
not
know
even
that
close.
Workman wants to do it. That's it.
Yeah. So that's all we know as of right now. So it's more just theories. But I know that in the last WaterLine video, I was very, very concerned. My main concerns were the combat instructions and the experimental ships. As of right now, my concern for the combat instruction the documents has been greatly reduced. I'm nowhere near as freaked out as I was after they explained and they took out the offensive side. Way less concerned, and I'm much happier with how it is. Like, yeah, I still don't like it, but it's
tolerable.
It's tolerable. It's not as bad as it was, but we still would prefer it not in PvP. In PvE, awesome. I love it. It's amazing. It's a great tool and a great fun for PvE, for PvE enjoyers. Great fun, and I enjoy it being there. PvP wise, it really depends.
PvP, it should not be there in its current form.
Yes. If they reduced the damage to below 10%, I feel like that would be within like RNG margins where plus or minus 10 normally depending upon RNG. I feel like that would be acceptable, but above 10%, which some ships are 15% reduction, now that's too much. 15% is something a lot of people will notice. 10%, not as much. But that's just how I see it. If it's more than 10, bad. If it's less than 10, it's tolerable for randoms. But I am curious what you guys think on all of this. I know that I'm currently just playing the operation while talking to you guys, so I'm sorry for getting a little bit distracted. It's late, so I'm kind of just chilling, playing operations with some people that are playing on the PTS currently. Again, you guys can come and test all this stuff out until the 17th. After the 17th, you're not going to be able to. And if you are watching this after the 17th, just let me know in the comments if you guys have any questions. I'll do my best to answer them. I do have a lot of stuff going on with family and other stuff, so it's kind of hard for me to answer comments. So I've also been pretty sick, so I do apologize for that. But yeah, I'm currently having fun with it. I'm happy that Wargaming has allowed us to be as CCs to be able to make content on the PTS publicly. So we're able to showcase to you guys about the classified documents and about the experimental ships, so that you guys are able to kind of get a glimpse at what they're doing, and they are wanting feedback on this as much as possible. So they're trying to get as many people to test it out, play it, get community feedback. So that's why I'm making this video as well, so that they can see all of your guys' comments on what you think. And hopefully they, you know, of course, and right now they are paying a lot of attention to your guys' feedback right now. So the more feedback you give, the better. Just don't do, like, you know, try to give like some constructive feedback or something that you can, just to be more, like, you know, positive on it. Don't just rant. Like, I know.
Be constructive. Don't tell Wargaming, don't give Wargaming death threats, any kind of that. Just tell them, I don't like this feature, this is why I don't like it, and then please do not put it in its current form, and suggest changes if you want. Just be civil about it.
Yeah, if you do that, they'll be much more
receptive.
Yeah. Because I know I was I was panic mode when I first saw what they were doing with the classified documents. Like, I was like panic mode, because like I was scared. Because the whole, like, I already deal with griefers in the game, so I was just more scared from that perspective, because like it just ruins the whole gameplay. Like, it ruins the whole day. I'm not really able to play the game without like the harass. So I'm glad that they are listening and that they are paying attention. And it does make me very happy. It does make me very happy and much more relieved from Wargaming side. So, but I am curious, very much curious in your guys' like feedback on what you think of this. Overall, with the classified documents, the experimental ships. And I'm also curious what you guys think of the flagship mode. Do you guys personally like the flagship mode, like with the documents? Do you guys not like it? I overall love it. It's so much fun to play. It's really enjoyable. You get to, like, you know, you get to pick your classified document for what you're going after. You can see the flagships right away. It's much more intuitive than before. Before, they would have it where it's more like, oh, well, at like the top left of the screen, before you win the operation, like, oh, hey, you're gonna have this flagship in the battle, and it wouldn't tell you what class it was of ship. It would just say, oh, it's gonna be an incendiary one. Now it tells you, hey, it's gonna be a incendiary specialist cruiser, which has a weakness to fire, a torpedo master battleship, which has a weakness to torpedoes. So now you get to see all of that information, so you're more aware of what you're fighting. And I love that that detail that they added in for those operations. It makes it a lot easier to play and to understand. And it's just where I think the classified documents belong in operations or like other PvE game modes. I know that they want to add more historical modes in the game, so I'm hoping that they return in that regard. So I'm hoping, because that'd be fun for sure. But yeah, the match is almost over, so I'm just finishing up the Annapolis, trying to anyway. We're almost there. I have 4 shells left of my special AP. And then after that, I will just... You can still use the burst fire, and it'll use the regular AP. Just not the, like, you can still use it. Is this guy gonna beach? Looks like he is. It does also do a sound when you're out of the special, like, the special AP round. It does do, like, a sound. It does do a sound. It does. Alright, so... Annapolis is almost dead.
Ship is on fire. Many thanks.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Somebody in here recognized me, so... It's pretty nice.
Yeah, we prefer that you just recognize and just have fun playing with us and not say, hey, take like 10 combat instructions because screw you.
Yeah. I'm having fun with this guy and team. Yeah, see, that's a nice positive encounter. It's always nice to see. It's always nice. I feel like the PvE community is always really nice too. I don't really see any bad eggs on the PvE side. They just enjoy blowing up ships and having fun. So it's always nice as well. But yes, so if you guys have any questions or any statements you want to make about the new stuff and about the PTS, let me know in the comments down below. I know this was a little bit longer of a video, but I wanted to make sure that I showcased a lot of stuff you guys were concerned about. So I really wanted to showcase to you guys and do an update video on their waterfront video. But yes, I do appreciate you guys. Thank y'all for being here, and thank y'all for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video.